Recently, I have come across multiple examples over on social media where a stock becomes too much hated that people start making fun of it. And that is exactly when the stock makes a bottom and delivers good returns in the following months. Basically, when a company is going through a rough patch due to margin pressure, demand slowdown, or a competitor is making noise, the crowd instantly shifts to negativity. Memes start circulating, narratives start spreading, and suddenly nobody wants to own that stock. The stock price keeps on falling, not because the business is broken, but because the sentiment is broken. And that is exactly where the real opportunity often lies. On the contrary, when everyone on social media loves a stock, it really underperforms for the next 1 to 2 years. So, what I want to tell you is that going against the wind of negativity, looking where nobody is looking, and buying when others have given up is the real foundation of contra investing. It sounds really simple, but emotionally, it is extremely difficult because going against the crowd feels uncomfortable. But these uncomfortable zones are where the real wealth is created. So, today we will discuss two such case studies where a company has delivered massive returns when the market has rejected them. Then we will understand why hated stocks often outperform, and then we will see one major key risk of contra investing. And finally, we will be looking at some stocks or theme which are rejected today but can potentially outperform tomorrow. Now let's start by rewinding to a story that is still a sting for many. Zomato. Remember the IPO hype?
India's leading food delivery company, Zomato, has made a stellar debut on Dalal Street today.
Are you applying in the Zomato IPO?
Zomato was a perfect poster boy of India's new age tech hype. The stock price rocketed from 70 rupees to around 160 rupees. Retail investors were super excited and ready to buy the stock at any level, and everyone felt like a genius. And then the stock price did not just fall, it plummeted all the way to 40 rupees. And during that phase, Zomato became internet's favorite punching bag. It was no longer a tech darling, it became a joke. Internet was flooded with memes comparing Zomato's stock chart to the price of tomatoes. But was it really a joke? See, when the market was panicking and selling, Zomato's management was quietly making a move that would define their future. They acquired Blinkit, a bold, risky bet into a whole new business, quick commerce. Now, the market hated it at first, but it turned out to be a master stroke. And that acquisition became a powerful new engine for growth. And from that point, Zomato's stock price soared up 7.5 times. So, those who invested in the stock while others were laughing were the ones who made real wealth. And you are looking at one of those people right now. Zomato was the most hyped IPO and now it's down by 70%. Many retail investors got trapped and lost money in this stock. But now what should be your next step? First point, if you want to take a fresh position, then now would be the best time, as the company has a dominant market share of 55% and is focusing on profitability. Second point, if you're already an investor in the company, then now would be the right time to buy the stock at lower levels and average the buy price. Because after the recent correction, when the stock was at 45 rupees, the FIIs have built a huge stake of 58% in the company. So as you saw, I had recommended Zomato near 45 rupees. But this was not a one-off event. Think about Dr. Lal Pathlabs, a COVID hero whose stock price and profits exploded in 2021. Everyone wanted a piece of it. But when the pandemic wave decreased, margins fell and the stock price got hammered. The retail investors who had chased the stock on the way up abandoned it on the way down in loss. They saw a falling stock. They did not see a resilient business whose growth engine was just refueling. Meanwhile, growth came back to the stock in the next 1 year, and the stock price has also significantly recovered from its lows. So, why do the stocks that everyone hates so often outperform the market? Now, there are four core reasons why hated stocks eventually outperform. First, fear creates mispricing. Fear makes us overreact, pushing the stock price down well below its true worth. Second, despair creates discount. When no one wants to own the stock, you get to buy the stock at a valuation you will never see when things are going well for the stock. Third, low expectations are a superpower. When everyone expects the company to fail, even a small positive news can bring massive upside surprise. Fourth, cycles turn. No winter lasts forever. A temporary slowdown in a great business is often just a pause before the next big growth phase. So, this brings me to the golden rule in investing. When a great company is going through a bad phase, that is not a red flag. That is a green light, because you don't buy when everyone is excited. You buy when everyone else has given up. But this is where it gets dangerous. For every Zomato, there is a trap waiting to swallow your capital whole. A stock that is down 90% can still go another 90% down. So, contra investing is not about blindly buying fallen down stocks. It is about becoming a detective. It is about knowing the difference between a company that is wounded and a company that is dying. Many investors make the mistake of averaging down fundamentally weak companies. Now, that is a massive risk. So, don't just keep on buying any fallen stock. Just look at the story of Gensol Engineering. The narrative was perfect: EV solution, solar power, it ticked all of the right boxes. But as the stock fell, whispers turned into allegations, forced bank statements, fake invoices, and inflated revenues. So, this was not a business facing a slowdown, it was a story built on lies. But the horrifying part is that as the truth came out and the stock price collapsed, the number of retail shareholders actually increased. So, they thought that they were buying the dip, but they were catching a falling knife. Now, I had also recommended the stock, but we exited the stock in a small loss and saved ourselves from another 80 to 90% loss. In the market, I have never believed in showing only the wins, because real investing does not work like that. Now, when I had talked about Zomato, it was trading near 45 rupees, and at that time, people were literally comparing the price of Zomato with the price of tomatoes. But I believed in the business, held the stock with conviction, and that conviction turned into a multi-bagger journey. And that is exactly how I operate my business. Complete transparency. Wins, losses, everything is visible. On my website, every trade is captured honestly, whether it be profit booked or loss accepted. Everything is visible on my website, because in investing, it is not about being right all of the time. It is about managing the risk, protecting your capital, and growing consistently. Now, I may be relatively new on YouTube, but my market journey is not new. It is based on 6 years of experience with a lot of learning, mistakes, and discipline. So, if you want to genuinely understand how real investing works, then just give our services a try and let me know. Now, next is Brightcom Group, a 90% crash after SEBI exposed a web of accounting frauds. And yet, the number of shareholders quadrupled on the way down. And this is why, in contra investing, we start with elimination. You have to be ruthless. If there are signs of poor governance, a weak balance sheet, or the numbers don't add up, then you don't just walk away, you run. Because remember, you are looking for something that is down, not what is broken. So let us apply this framework to a company which is in the eye of the storm right now. KPIT Tech. This was a market darling, a 40-50x runner from its COVID lows. Its growth was explosive, Revenue grew at 34% CAGR over 3 years. Profits at a blistering 44% CAGR. But now, the stock is down nearly 50% from its peak. Revenue growth dropped to 11% and the profit growth flatlined to zero. So is KPIT Tech wounded or is it dying? Come, let's investigate. Now, see, there are two culprits. First is geopolitics. The US China trade war and a weak European economy have hit the EV market hard. Car makers are delaying big software projects, and this is a direct hit to KPIT Tech because Europe and US account for nearly 75% of its business. 47.7% from Europe and 27.7% from the US. Second is the price war. Aggressive Chinese EV makers like BYD are forcing the Western car makers to cut the cost, which means deferring the high-end R&D projects which are the bread and butter of KPIT Tech. So the problem is not that KPIT is losing clients. The problem is that the clients are hitting a pause button. But the crucial question is, for how long? So let's zoom out. The global auto industry is undergoing the biggest change in the century. Cars are turning into computer on wheels, and this shift from mechanical to software-defined vehicles is irreversible. And the car makers need to develop an advanced software for battery management, autonomous driving, and over-the-air updates. And KPIT sits at the heart of this multi-decade mega trend, and I will not miss this opportunity. Now, at its peak, KPIT Tech was trading at a sky-high PE of 80 to 90, priced to perfection, and today it trades at around 35 PE. Still, it is not cheap, but a valuation that reflects reality and not hype. Now, management is confident about a stronger second half and a promising FY 2027. And I believe in this management because I have read and seen more than 5 years of their annual reports, and they have constantly shown growth on a quarter-on-quarter basis. And if they return to 25 to 30% growth, the stock could re-rate significantly. And if the growth settles at 15 to 20%, it could still be a steady compounder. And if we take a look at the technicals, then 981 rupees is a strong support. And if the stock sustains and reverses, then here I will buy more. So my view is that if you have continued holding the stock, then don't sell or aggressively down average the stock. But one can continue SIP in this stock, but slowly. So the final lesson is that contra investing is an art. It works best when you have the conviction which is backed by deep research and not by catching a falling knife. It works best when you have the wisdom to know what is truly worth buying. It works when you have the courage to buy when everyone else is fearful. See, sentiments are temporary, but fundamentals are what last. And the greatest wealth is created in the gap between these two. So this was Sanika signing off from this video, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Till then, bye-bye.